This pile of stuff behind me, these are a whole bunch of things I'm packing for 5 weeks in the Mentawais. So this is a whole bunch of stuff for you to consider for your packing list for your Indo surf trip. Let's get into it. This is the stuff I'm taking to go for 5 weeks, right? So if you're going for 10 or 12 days, it's probably gonna be a little different, but you can probably get a lot of legit ideas because I've done this a few times now. So we're gonna start with food. I take nutrition very seriously, especially with high output, right? Surfing, you're trying to surf as much as possible on a surf trip. You can mitigate inflammation depending on what you're putting into your body. I also have a really sensitive gut from a long health history of destroying my body from like 20 to 27 with partying and antibiotics and parasite infections, blah, blah, blah. I always take a good protein powder. This is Perfect Amino Power Meal out of the US. It doesn't taste that great, but it's legit and I got it on discount. I also picked up just some plant-based protein on iHerb. So generally on boats, if you're on a good boat, you're eating well. But early morning, if most boats have like some fruit out or something, I might throw some protein in a coffee and I can eat a couple pieces of fruit, go surf. Beef jerky. Don't go anywhere without beef jerky. Now, easy snack, travels easily. You can take it in a little boat, like if you're motoring off from like Macaronis to go surf Thunders or something, throw some beef jerky in. Dates, almonds, raisins, easy, quick snacks. Again, you're eating probably very, very well on boat trips, at least the ones we run. So if you want to take a surf trip with us, click on one of these links, see what we've got on offer. Snacks often, it's usually just like chips and candies and shit. And again, you're trying to limit inflammation. You're inflaming yourself with all the amount of surfing you're doing. And again, I've got a sensitive gut. I can't be eating a bunch of like shitty potato chips all the time. Dark chocolate. I always travel with dark chocolate. This won't even be enough. Good source of magnesium as well, but again, easy snack. Throw some peanut butter on some dark chocolate, go out and surf. This is a bag of RX bars and a whole bunch of other bars. RX bars, they're damn good. Like, you can read it. Simple. I'm not affiliated with this company. I just think these are legit. And I was recently in Los Angeles, so walked into a Trader Joe's and bought a bunch. Some of those epic jerky bars. Again, simple, easy snack. I also always take some Snickers bars because I froth on a Snickers bar. I don't have any in here. More bars. Bars are simple, easy. Take a bunch of bars. Again, if you're hopping into a boat or something, going off for the day, easy to have a bar. Since I'm going for an extended period of time, got my buddy Jason Olderoy. He is Power Start. This is the highest quality granola you can find. You can get it in Australia. So I'm taking this with me. Again, throw it on some fruit in the morning, smash some coffee, go shred. Let's move on to other stuff. You've seen this. This is not a sex toy, although it probably could be. If it gets a little kinky on your surf trip, cervical spine release with a Theracane, legit. Mind you, I'm doing tissue work and stuff with people, so golf ball, bottom of the foot. If we're trying to restore ankle range of motion with somebody, but just really releasing big toe mobility, flexibility, bottom of the foot type of stuff. Cupping can go, somebody out there, oh, cupping's not research supported, some dickhead on the internet trying to sport their ego. Cupping can feel really good on some shoulders with some stretching. You're applying suction and then you're moving. So essentially you're modulating the nervous system. These are cheap, they're easy, they go good on the neck, they go good around the shoulder blade and on the deltoids. In this bag, one of those floss bands. Again, I'm working with individuals trying to loosen up shoulders, knees, hips, etc. Wrap something up tight, start moving it. It's kind of a fascial manipulation or mobilization or something. What else I've gotten here? Various pain relief creams like Arnica Flora. I have a history of neck injuries, and I'm sure most of you watching this over 30 have low back, hip, shoulder, something, right? Take some good pain relief cream. Arnica Flora gels. This is CBD relief cream. Rock tape on the neck. Again, I'm working on individuals, taping shoulders, taping necks. This can be really good on a neck that starts to get fatigued, also shoulders, and it's cheap, right? All right, Mask and snorkel. It's all, if you're in some tropical destination, you do some spear fishing. I think it's always cool to swim around and see the reef, see what you're surfing. Lay days where there's not much going on, you'll wish you had a mask and snorkel. So we've moved over to this pile of stuff. This is my organized chaos that will soon go into a suitcase. Board repair. We always recommend, for those coming on surf trips, bring 3 boards. 4 even. I'm traveling with 4, and I've got a 5th waiting for me. I'm hard on surfboards. If you're on a surf trip, you're gonna mess a board up. You're gonna crack it, you're gonna ding it, you're gonna do something. You always want sun cure, right? This is for epoxy. I've also got, I haven't tried this out, ding repair putty. I'll let you know how it goes. I've heard it's all right, so kind of a quick and easy. And then I've got sandpaper. You know how to do your own board repair? If not, you should learn. It's simple. Simple, easy ones, right? You can get it properly prepared later when you're home. You just need to make it not suck up water. And fiberglass cloth. Cool. Cute little reef booties. I don't like surfing with booties. Most of our men's trips, I don't wear booties. Some, like when we go to G-Land, I have these in my pocket. Some waves, maybe. These are these rip curl socks. You can roll them up, right? And they fit into a pocket. The thing with surf trips, especially boat trips, Indo stuff, surfing reef, if you slice a foot bad, your trip's done. Who wants to sit on a boat because you sliced a big toe day 2 just watching your buddies surf? Booties, yeah, just fall safe, right? Don't start kicking right away. You need to know the reef, you need to know the depth, but these are cool little reef socks. Extra leashes, always, especially if you're surfing heavy solid waves. Seki, shout out to my boys at Seki earplugs. I always travel with earplugs. These are light, these are easy. On boat trips, I always tend to sleep with earplugs at night. So I will surf with earplugs, otherwise my ears don't ever get a chance to dry out. Speaking of earplugs, let's move on to some medical stuff and we'll get back into this. Swimmer's ear, again, ear infections suck. If you're coming out of Indo somewhere, pick up some ear antibiotics, super easy. Walk into any chemist and you can pick that up. And then this is a bit of a med kit bag, like I should, some basics, like I've got a betadine, I've always got a rubbing alcohol, Band-Aids, I've got a Neosporin, kind of an antibiotic ointment. I've got a mupirocin or a zinc oxide, both. Another kind of antibiotic, or zinc oxide might be, I think, not an antibiotic. I think that's for kind of rash stuff, but I've also got the mupirocin in the other bag, scissors, here it is, yep. Mupirocin. You're gonna get cuts. You need to take care of your cuts because a nasty infection, man, we've seen horror stories of people getting infections. This is that Chinese kind of oil that dries stuff out, goes all kind of red. So you need to be safe with your cuts. Take care of them. Again, Band-Aids, Panadol, ibuprofen I'm not a big fan of, but what tends to happen, and this will lead into vitamin C. I always travel with a lot of vitamin C. That we're, as coaching, really high output, having to do a lot of surfing with individuals, trying to surf as much as possible, but when you get onto a boat trip, it's a confined space and people bring funk, all sorts of flu funk. So very often, most boat trips we run, something goes around the boat. So high dose vitamin C, take some Panadol if you got a fever. I have too much information right here, but we had this gut thing run around the boat on a men's trip a few years ago. I'm all fevered, my colon is explosive. I pumped a bunch of Panadol, dropped the fever, went out and surfed, really, really good HGs, and just had to keep aqua bogging. Top of the lineup though, it was pushing, it was all good. Sometimes you do what you gotta do. Lots of zinc, obviously, lots of zinc. Wax comb, that should be kind of standard. Lots of extra fins. If you're surfing reef, it's a very good chance you might knock out a fin and then it destroys the fin box. Hopefully not, because that board's done. But chipping fins, whatever. This is for my 20. Picked up Jawa fins here in Bali. If you're in Bali, Jawa fins, they make legitimate templates. This is essentially an AM1. I usually surf AM1s and AM2s, so medium and large, just depending on the wave and the board. They'll deliver you fins here in Bali and really high quality templates. Again, extra fins, extra grub screws, extra little leash tags. You're gonna need that stuff, or especially if we're working with guests, somebody's gonna forget something. Rubber. It's not always cold enough for rubber, but if it's shallow and reefy, it's a little bit of extra protection. Always some SPF rash guards, full sleeve rashies. I hate having to slather sunscreen on myself. I try not to. And if you are doing sunscreen, make sure it's like a decent one, right? We don't want to, your skin is eating essentially whatever you put on it. Your body is eating it. So the chemicals and stuff in some of the major sunscreens are filthy. So do your research. Another rashie. Speaking of sun, in the Ments, elsewhere for that matter, sun gets brutal. As goofy and nerdy and astoundingly handsome and legit these hats look, I'm telling you, you will be stoked. Everybody that finally does get one of these that I recommend to, you're gonna want one. Like laser beam sun at like 3 in the afternoon, and you're just chilling, man, looking fresh. But you gotta do it this one, as soon as I start paddling in, right before, boom, I flip it. And that looks even sick if you're doing some fins out wafts and photos. Getting shacked with a proper full brimmed hat. Shaka bra. Long sleeve t-shirt. Take a long sleeve t-shirt, no matter where your surf trip is. Mozzies, if you get a bit of wind up or something, you get a fever, take a long sleeve t-shirt. Sunproof, right? Yes, shout out to Fiona, my dear Fiona, my girlfriend. She did some photography for these Turkish towel brand. Lula Loha, shout out. Take a towel with you. You're sitting in a boat, like it's just sun protection. You don't know when you need it, but take some type of decent towel because you will end up using it at some point, especially for women. So you're not getting necessarily gawked at, depending where you're traveling. You can just kind of wrap up so, you know, you're not getting stared at or harassed. Oh, we've gone over to this side of the room, near the boards. We've gone over vitamin C. We've gone extra zinc. Earplugs, boat trips, people snore, anchors are getting pulled up. Have a decent set of earplugs. It'll save you some sleepless nights. Waterproof watch. Oh, more zinc. Supplements. Let's keep it simple. Essential amino acids. I don't have any affiliation with this brand, but Kirkman does some legit products. Essential amino acids, it's repair. It's recovery. You're shuttling amino acids into the body so they can do whatever it is they need with it. Again, like empty stomach, early morning, go out and surf, coffee, amino acids, ready to shred, bruh. Magnesium. Cool. You need magnesium. It's used for however many processes within the body. High output depletes magnesium. You're likely already deficient in magnesium. We all are. So I'll take a magnesium. Curcumin. People will go on surf trips, they will smash Bintangs or some shit beer, and they'll smash ibuprofen. That's destroying your liver. Like legitimately proven, that is destroying your liver. Do a high quality curcumin. This will really help recover and combat inflammation. A decent bug spray. You don't want to get malaria. I've heard it sucks. I haven't had malaria. I've had typhoid. Man, the stories I could tell you about typhoid, I can't explain the fevers. It's like this weird combination of delirium and LSD and the most intense fever, like, came on at first like we thought it was dengue. I couldn't stand. All my joints hurt so bad. I had to crawl around. We were in Sumbawa at the time, me and Fiona. We had just started dating. Horrible, horrible. Books. It's gonna be downtime. I usually take, whatever. Some things I'm taking, influence. I've read about half of that. I picked up a Chuck Palahniuk, Damned. I found it at a used bookshop. That's a hot find at a used bookshop. Stalking the Wild Pendulum. And I've got a couple other books I'm gonna take. Surfboards. So this is just some of what I'm taking. This is my 20, Clayton 20. I surf predominantly Clayton surfboards. He hooks it up, bruh. Good Indo trips. Having a 20 in your quiver, onto it. It needs to be a 20 that can handle some quality surf, right? You want a good board sock, because if you've got to throw boards in the boat, like the little dinghy or something, and you're traveling for a while, just have a good board sock with you. And if it's like hot sand or something, you can just sit on it, whatever, you will use it. 5'11", cannot Channel Islands happy, epoxy. I surf pretty much all epoxy. Mind you, I surf a lot of high quality surf here in Indonesia. This is gonna be, we're going to Macaronis, I've mentioned that, 5 weeks of coaching. Join our surf trips, shout out. 2020 trips are full. We might be adding one more. Keep an eye out. 2021 trips coming up soon. 511 happy, this is my kind of standard go-to. I've got another board very close to this in dimensions from Clayton. Think macaronis, you want to do a bunch of up and down surfing, barrel off the top, boom, start whacking it. So good all-rounder, and I would happily surf this in the Ments and elsewhere in Indonesia, upwards of 6 foot. Most people would say, hey, bring a board that you're comfortable surfing 2 to 5 foot, quality surf, right? It doesn't need to make speed, it needs to be a board that can handle speed. So 2 to 5 foot, what will you ride? And then bring a step up. Your third board could be another like standard performance board or a twinny. Bring a yoga mat. It's good protection for your board bag around boards, but most boat decks, they're a bit hardcore. They ain't easy on the knees. Scrape up your knees. Looks like you're doing something else on your surf trip. Bring a board, a yoga mat. It'll help you with stretching and stuff as well. Mind you, tape tennis balls. I don't have it here at the moment. It's upstairs. 2 tape tennis balls. We call it a peanut. You can do all sorts of tissue release, shoulder release, thoracic spine mobilizations, low back. Know your stuff. This is more of my go straight, try to get barrel board, Clayton. Again, epoxy. This is a 511. It's about 28 liters. I've actually creased this before. Creased it lightly, and then you can see this paint patch. Had it repaired. It still surfs quite well, but if we're gonna start, I've got a exact one of these meeting me at Macaronis. Thanks, Clay, for bringing it over. This one, I'll surf if there's a good chance of snapping some boards. I have a pretty good history of snapping boards because I throw effort into barrels I shouldn't. And then, so yeah, that's pretty much my go-to process of packing. This is, like I've said repeatedly, for 5 weeks, so you probably don't need as much stuff as I forgot. Salt. I legitimately travel with good salt. I love salty food. In terms of electrolyte stuff, most boats, trips you're on, like you'll get a coconut. They have lots of coconuts. Throw a bit of salt in that, maybe even some honey. I'm taking a full jug of honey to Macaronis. It's kind of like a Gatorade, but good quality salt, a Celtic sea salt. Another little trick you can do, if you get a Morton salt substitute, it's potassium chloride. I'm not a doctor. If you have kidney issues, I'm not telling you to do potassium. But for those that are healthy, you want to do some electrolytes, you can kind of do a 50-50 mix of some potassium and sodium, right? It's a good sea salt and a salt substitute. Throw that on your food. Overall, I hope this helps. I am sure I have forgotten stuff. Once I turn this off and start packing, I will be throwing more stuff into a bag. Hope this informs you. Comment below if there's some stuff I'm forgetting. Check out my full surf trip prep guide. There's also a program for those that want more inclusive information, laid out processes. Also check out my Surf Athlete app. Right on. Again, shaka bruh. Hope it helps you pack more efficiently for your trip. Surf trips are surf marathons, so all you're trying to do is get as many waves as possible and support your health and well-being and recovery through that process. Cool, that's it. That's a lot of stuff to pack. I need to do this because I'm leaving tomorrow morning. Check out our surf trips. Again, I'll link somewhere here. Let me know if this was helpful. I truly hope it was. Enjoy your surf trip, enjoy Indonesia or wherever else you're going.